Hi. I'm here for another part in my top 5 animated TV shows that I believe need to be on DVD. I'm hoping you guys enjoy it, have been enjoying these videos, and yeah. So I hope, I'm just hoping you guys are really enjoying these videos. And yeah, so, and if you have, then thank you, and if not, then whatever. Anyways, so I guess let's get started with, we're now into my top 3, and I'm very excited for these top 3. And so yeah, so let's get started with my number 3 choice. Yeah, number 3. Welcome back. My number 3 pick is, as you've seen it, Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestlin'. Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestlin', yeah, I know this might be a very interesting pick, but I picked this one. There's a couple reasons why I picked it. Number one, I've never really seen all the episodes. Actually, I've only seen like about maybe 3 or 4 episodes. And I guess that's one of the reasons why I want it to be released on DVD. But not only that, I'm actually a huge wrestling fan. I don't think I've maybe talked about once in my videos, but yeah, I've been a wrestling fan since like '89, and this was way after Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestlin'. This show actually aired in '85 during the whole Rockin' Wrestling connection, and yeah. So this is actually the oldest series on this oldest cartoon on this list. Because it ran, it started in 1985 and it went until 1986, so 2 seasons it ran with 26 episodes. Yeah. What the story is about? It's not really much to it. It's you get there's these characters. You get all these wrestling characters like Mr. Fuji. Actually, no, Hulk Hogan, obviously, voiced by, once again, Brad Garrett. But this is actually one of his earlier voice jobs, because as you probably know, before he did Raymond, he did a lot of voice work, and Hulk Hogan was, I think, his first major role, like his first major voice role. You also get a lot of the other characters, like you get the good guys, like Junkyard Dog, voiced by James Avery. Yeah, what's his name? James Avery, who you might know as Uncle Phil from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and Shredder from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon of the 80s. You get Wendy Richter, Captain Albano, Hillbilly Jim, Andre the Giant. And you get to see Mean Gene Okerlund once in a while, and Bobby the Brain Heenan. He's not in here. Jimmy Superfly Snuka, and the bad guys are Ronnie Piper, Mr. Fuji, I think. Yeah, Big John Studd. Yeah, Big John Studd. The Iron Sheik, the Fabulous Moolah, Nikolai Volkov, and I think that's it. I think that's all the bad guys. Yeah. Yeah, and what I've seen of this show, I really liked. What it is Hulk Hogan and his team of good guys are basically on different adventures and stuff, and they sometimes fight monsters. Like one episode, like for example, the first episode on this, they're trying to find out where these zombies are coming from, and they're coming from the Fabulous Moolah's ride, and so it's kind of funny. Yeah, and then they fight other monsters, and I guess they're trying to solve mysteries about what's going on, and it's usually all the time the bad guy wrestlers doing something wrong. And yeah, so that's really what it's about. Both them just doing different things, different adventures. I don't think it really relies much on the actual wrestling. I guess you could say it's kind of like what they do outside the wrestling career. Like all the top stars from the time are on here. And yeah, all the top wrestlers. and you basically get to see what they did outside things. Like I said, you get to see like for example, another episode is Captain Urbano, who he is a good guy, but he's trying to be like a proper gentleman, and that's what the My Fair Wrestler is about. And Junkyard 500 is basically like a car race, and like to see who is going to get into a car, which is kind of funny because Ronnie Piper wins, but his car ends up getting destroyed. Yeah, and I can't really say too much about and there's another one about they're trying to rescue this ape, this like gorilla, and yeah, so that's basically what the whole series is about. This basically them doing different adventures and them trying to stop the bad guys from doing stuff and whatever. And let's see. And some episodes were like full 30-minute episodes, but other episodes, I think most episodes were 2 15-minute episodes. I guess what I could talk about now is let's talk about the history thing. Andy Hayward is the one that I guess helped create this series, and he's probably remembered for shows like Inspector Gadget and some other ones. Yeah, some other ones. Like I said, Gene Oakland did some episodes on his own. Like most of these, all the wrestlers are actually done by voice actors. The only one that actually did his voice was Gene Oakland, and he only did it once in a while. And I think part of the reason is because of this the WWF schedule at the time was very heavy, a very heavy schedule, because it's the first time they went international, and like they were going international at the time, and like it's when they started that, and I guess they're basically too busy to film their voices. But there is on most episodes there are actually live segments. I think the live segment ones are only during the two story episodes. I don't think they're part of the one story episode, but I think the live segments, like they're in like that beginning of the episode, in the middle of this episode, and then maybe at the end, were all done by the wrestlers. Yeah, and but like I said, that was during the 2-story episode. What else? Yeah, there was another wrestler that was supposed to be a part of it. Her name was Mad Maxine, and she has like this weird mohawk. She only had two matches in the WWF at the time, and she was supposed to be a part of this. Like she was supposed to be the main bad girl, while Wendy Richter's the main good girl, and but for some reason she left the WWF, and there's numerous stories of why she left. But either way, when she left, they had to replace her in the cartoon, and they, I guess because the only other bad girl at the time was the Fabulous Moolah. And one of the stories is the reason why they took out Mad Maxine is because the Fabulous Moolah wanted to be in it. I don't know if that's true or not, but either way, Fabulous Moolah ended up in the show, and she was the main bad girl. I guess I could talk about some of the stuff that was released. I guess I'll start with the like the home videos. Throughout the years, Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling has been released on VHS. Like during the time the show was airing on TV, it was being released by Deke. Like a couple episodes were being released by Deke, who also released Inspector Gadget and some other shows. But then in late 99, 2000, WWF at the time, which as it was called, was releasing a bunch of VHSs, and I actually have one of them here, which has, as you probably already know, this is volume 6, with Rockin' Zombies, My Fair Wrestler, and Junkyard 500. This is the only VHS I have, unfortunately, and these are really hard to come by. Even the Deke ones are really hard to find, and so I'm really hoping that the WWF, who owns the rights, releases it one day, this series. And some other stuff they released is they never released action figures for the show, but they had like these. There's a company they released these erasers that I guess kind of look like action figures, and yeah. I'm not quite sure. I know like Hulk Hogan was released, Junkyard Dog. Ronnie Piper, like those were released, and probably the rarest of those ones is the eraser released with Wendy Richter. That goes for thousands of dollars, because I've seen one on eBay that goes for like over $2,000. And I think the reason why is because that is the closest action figure, as of today, the closest action figure we ever got of Wendy Richter. So yeah, so if they ever decide to release an action figure of Wendy Richter, then that's, yeah, but that's why it goes so, that's why a lot of people really want it, and they sell it for so much, is because, yeah, that's the only way to get her in action figure form. Yeah. And some of the other stuff that was released, well, obviously I've been showing you this, it's a storybook. It says stickers. Unfortunately, I didn't get no stickers with this. It's just some pages. I don't think it's even drawn like the cartoon. It's just like an ordinary storybook. I don't even think I've read this story. I've had it for a couple of years. I've seen it actually. I think this was my first thing I ever got of this show. Yeah, basically just words on one side and then pictures on the other side. And this was, yeah. I guess it came out at the same time the show was airing. And another thing that's that they also released is a coloring book. Yeah, I'm showing a coloring book. Yeah. No, but it's just, I just thought I'd show you some stuff that released. Since I have it, why not show you some stuff that was released. I don't think I ever used this. I don't think I ever will, but yeah. Oh, it has some games in it as well. Yeah, it's mostly colored, but I don't know if there's any pictures that was colored, so yeah. Yeah, I guess same thing on the back. And yeah, that's all the stuff I have. Yeah, so as you probably could tell, if you're a fan of wrestling, you probably know all these characters that were from the show are all in the Hall of Fame. The only one I don't think that's in the Hall of Fame yet is Hillbilly Jim. But as for everybody else, yeah, as far as I know, everybody else that's in the cartoon is in the WWE Hall of Fame. Like I said, except for Hillbilly Jim. But I could see him come because he was very popular at the time. I could see him coming in. So I hope the WWE releases this in complete series form, because I know last year they released Hulk Hogan and Zeus's movie, No Holds Barred, which I still have to get. So with that being released last year, I feel like it's just a matter of time before they release this show. Yeah, and also on if you go to www.com, you can find an article, like an interview they had with Andy Haywood, Brad Garrett, Mean Gene Oakland, and Jimmy Hart. They interviewed those four, and they talk about the cartoon series, and that's where I got some of my information from. Yeah. Yeah, it's like I said, I really like this cartoon. Like with what I've seen of it, like I said, I haven't seen that many episodes, but with what I've seen, I really like, and that and me being a big fan of wrestling is the reason why I want this series to be released on DVD. I don't really know what else to talk about. Yeah, I don't think there's nothing else to talk about. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I did actually more research than I say probably the other two. And I just want to thank you guys once again for watching, and stay tuned for my runner-up, which my number 2 choice. And yeah, so I just have one more thing to say. Train, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, be true to yourself. Woo! Bye for now.